Welcome to Moonlight Badness, and today we're doing a reading for air signs for 2022, and this is for the month of March. We're leading in with the Year of the Tiger, and the first card I pulled is 10 of Summer, which is to do with looking after children's matters, looking after family, spending time with family and friends, and raising children wisely, and being very careful with how you are behaving within a family dynamic. So some of you might be reuniting with people you haven't seen in a couple of years because of COVID restrictions or because of famine or COVID symptoms, and so now you're able to, after a time, come out of the woodworks, or perhaps your family's looking after you during you've been diagnosed with positive testing of COVID, so you've got that support from your family and friends. It is also talking about friends that are like family. It's worth investing time and energy into your primary relationships. You can have the happy home you're seeking, with peace and fulfillment. And then crossing you is the downloads. I call this the downloads. It's the Ace of Swords. It can mean an operation. It can represent a toothache or an incision or an injection. When it comes to swords, it's one sword. It can also represent challenges along the way, and to communicate accurately and clearly. It says here you may be getting messages from spirit. See with the crystal? That's her. She's breathing in positivity and exhaling negativity. And there's a snow leopard in the background. It means she's very fierce with her words. She can be quite blunt, and she doesn't always think before she speaks. That's air signs all over. They're very much in their minds, and the communication can come across as very blunt, sometimes with no tact. I've been told this many times by many people. And this is not my normal surroundings, so I'm sorry about the lighting, but the lighting's not good because I'm not in my normal habitat. I'm operating remotely right now, excuse me. And the decks we're dealing with is the Faery Tarot Cards by Doreen and Radleigh Valentine, the Wisdom of the Oracle by Colette-Baron-Reid, the Fairy Oracle by Lucy Cavendish, and artwork by Selina Fenech. It's one of my favourite decks. So we've got underneath, this is past energy. You had a lot of burdens in the past, air signs. You took on many people's problems plus your own. There's only so much you can do. You need to maintain a healthy sense of self and draw boundaries. So maybe in the past you were so willing to help others that you burnt out yourself and had no more energy left to give to you by looking after everyone else. So 10 of Spring. It's like carrying 10 swords on your back and you only got 2 hands. It also talks about being weighed down and health problems by having too much of a stressful job. It says, don't be afraid to ask God and the angels and the fairies. Remove anything from your schedule that is not necessary, and reclaim what time as your own for self-nurturing. Yeah, the time has come for her to turn to other fairies for assistance. And in the recent past, you've got the World. This is Capricorn energy. It's all about restrictions, and like what we've recently had with the government restrictions. COVID made us think about how far we could go outside our home within a 5k radius. It's a journey that was completed back then. So that's the World energy. Capricorn was last year. 21 represents Capricorn energy, the World. Reaching the end of a cycle and cycling into a brand new energy. So we're in 2-2 energy. We're going into Aquarian energy. This is why we've got all these catastrophes happening. Aquarian energy is volatile. It's highly destructive, and whatever's not stable, it's like the Tower of Babylon. It will fall down into a rubble, into a million pieces. Anything that's not stable, they will pull it apart and you'll have to rebuild. 9 of Swords. This is talking about people that are having nightmares, panic attacks, are really worried about what's going on. It talks about unfounded fears, difficulty sleeping, taking on the problems of the world, and focusing on worst case scenarios, needless guilt. It comes to you when worry has reached an unnecessary level. You may indeed have concerns and plans that you need to process, but your fear isn't in proportion to your circumstances. Take a few moments to let go. Go for a walk in nature. Breathe in, breathe out. It also talks about stress that has been built up over time. It can take a physical and emotional toll on your entire body. Explore ways to reduce your anxiety, such as a massage, Reiki, spa day, or acupuncture. And then you've got in the future the Balance card, and it's to do with court cases, Libran energy. It can also represent taking everyone's input and consideration and merging viewpoints to create a better solution. Take your time, there's no need to rush. And then we have Princess of Swords. This is Aquarian, Gemini, Libra energy. It talks about a person that's inquisitive, they're truthful, they're realistic, and you'll find out information that may be difficult to hear, and speaking the truth with kindness. An indigo or crystal child, they're very much, they're either lawyers or they're teachers, or they try to incorporate justice. They try to stand up for the underdog. They're ones that will always put the ones that can't fight for themselves. They will make sure that they take a stand for the people who are a minority, a disability group, people that are disabled by or marginalised because of their mental health, or because of their emotional health, or because they have a disability, a neurological disability that prevents them from thinking in the same way as everyone else. ADHD kids, GAD, people with autism, kids that don't function at full capacity, and it makes it it's harder for them to learn than every other child. So you may be a defender of those people that are weak, or defender of people that can't defend themselves. You may have an organisation that you run, like a trust fund, or what was I looking into today? Disability hearing or court, disability court, where they have a commission that you state your case about what's happened to you as you're a disability, and you've been marginalised or you've been victimised of domestic violence. That's what that's talking about. And then you have 10 of Autumn. 10 of Autumn is to take steps to ensure your financial stability, or you're making wise investments for retirement and honouring family traditions. So maybe you're thinking about buying a home. So you're sick of renting, you're over it, you're sick of putting up with people's stuff, and you want to have some time out where you have your own pad. Family trees, major business investments. Make plans that include your family financially in future education, healthcare. You may decide to take up a healthcare scheme. Prepare now so you can be free of financial worry later on. If you're young and can spare on a few sums each month, it will add up over the years. A happy family spends time together. The pears are a symbol of prosperity that will provide you for the needs for years to come. And then you have the 3 of Spring. I think this is 3 of Wands. Is like your 3 ships that have gone out to sea, and now they're coming back with the goods that they've bought from overseas. So you may have coins, you may have spices. Back in the old days, you had 14th, 16th century. It would take 8 months or 8 years before you would sometimes receive, or 3 months before you would receive the bounty that you went and paid for in coin, for spices that were hard to get. Christopher Columbus brought back many spices from many stretches of the world, but he had to travel in order to get those things, and they took time, so they cost more. He could charge more. So that's what that represents. And then you've got the Justice card. So something about you wanting justice in a situation. They're going to take time to review the details, and you'll win in the end. A fair and objective outcome. So either someone's in the court of law, you might be a lawyer yourself, or you might be studying law, or you might be standing up for the underdog because you're sick and tired of being trodden on, and so you're now taking a stand for you. Making wise decisions for everyone involved. So you can make these decisions, but they can also be made with compassion. And then we have the Wisdom of the Oracle. So we'll just get a few messages from these cards. And the cards are not wanting to talk today. We've got the red cards. I always think of these as my Russian deck. And considering what's going on right now, it's appropriate. Okay, breathe. You need to do some breathing exercises. You need to find something that makes you slow down and be in that Zen meditative state. Yoga, running, jogging, weightlifting, anything where you can breathe in and breathe out. 29, which is in the Wisdom of the Oracle. Patience, go slow. Meditation, patience in all things is called for now. What do you need to do when you're in a rush? Slow down, of course. Meditate and trust. Breathe and repeat. Humans cannot exist without drawing breath. Now is the time for you to allow the life-giving element of air to replenish your body, your being, and your very essence. Stop to smell the roses. Breathe in the sunlight and release the darkness, and miracles will appear. Don't be in too much of a hurry right now. The heart needs time to open. Take a breath and let nature take its course. Release constriction and anxiety, for there is no need for tension. Savor the moment, and the waiting won't prove difficult. Your heart knows what the ego often resists learning. Patience pays off in deep and meaningful ways. That's a really good card to pull. I think everyone needs to take a deep breath right now. Everyone's in the feels and in their emotions because of what's going on with the war. I saw a massive submarine in my vision the other night. So we're going to have to fire our submarines from our end. That's what I see. Eventually. Not right now. But if, push comes to shove, I see Australia launching its own submarines and attacking from that way. Because we did a really big deal with USA recently on the building of the submarines. So I think that is our vantage point. Mending, 52. Okay, so we've got here forgiveness, making amends, healing after arguments. Each time we are hurt and allow the hurt to pass through us without understanding and integration, we accumulate an unwanted burden. This keeps us chained to that burden. The things we need to heal, the pain, the memories, the echoes of resentments, and the arguments that we rehearse over and over. Now is the time for mending rifts, healing wounds, and letting go of all the old hurts in order to reclaim your power. Now is the time to forgive, to release, to make peace, and to make an amends to others. Set yourself free. You've come to a place where forgiveness is necessary. If you're to move forward, separate altogether, you and the other person are still experiencing the effects of a hurt that is impacting everything you do, even if you're not aware of it. The energy needs to clear. What must you do to bridge this gap? Closing your heart is not the answer. You have the power to heal this wound. Ask yourself, what would love do? Only good will come of the forgiveness and an honest redress. A reset button is needed here. And then we have the Faery Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. In the Fairy Tarot deck, we have a star on the front of it, like the Star of David, but it's got a 7-point. 7-point star is the witchcraft. It's the Wiccan symbol of a star. So it's based on the Jewish star of David, and also it represents the star in the Book of Tarot. These cards aren't wanting to talk. Oh, here we go. Silver Sisters, the twins. This is the twin energy. Gemini energy. So some of you may have twins around you, or you may have been a twin, or you may have someone in your family that's a twin, or you have the ability to produce twins. That's like a lineage of twins that's been passed down in your family tree. So I looked that up. That is number 9. Endings. 9 is endings. Talks about time to take protection from toxic thoughts and energy. Oh yes, they are looking at you and they are not kind. The naughty twin and the nice twin. But do not fear, because it's an indication it's truly is time for you to clear ground, balance, protect. These beautiful fairy sisters seem so beautiful and glamorous, but sadly they're here to warn you of attacks through the form of harmful words and thoughts directed towards you. This does not create victimhood, but it is a call to understand that the malice of others does have an impact if we do not take the necessary steps to clear ground, balance and protect ourselves. Each day from them and others like them. There are those in the world who talk of us badly, who use their words in jokes and jest, who say one thing to our face and whisper another behind our backs. They do not have energetic poison in their gossip and nasty talk. And it can impact if your energetic health is not in peak condition. So thank these nasty ones for reminding us to keep ourselves well. When the Silver Sisters turn up in your reading, it is not time to become fearful or paranoid, but to know that it is the nature of many people to ensure they feel better about themselves by talking and thinking badly of others. Someone wants to put you down in order to feel better about them. This is the true meaning of a psychic attack. So if you have been visited, you are being asked to create more energetic protection in your life, to seek out the barbs and arrows of jealousy and envy that may have taken root in your energy field and to gently remove them. It is also time to be mindful of your own words and to clear gossip and negative thoughts. Clairvoyant healers can often see where a thorn, barb or dagger has been thrown, and they sometimes come from the least likely of places. The Silver Sister reminds us that appearances are not the truth, as sometimes people behave in one manner, but beneath their appearance is negativity. Trust your gut on this. You are being asked by you to make your own environment, your own energy feel strong, bright, healthy, and powerful. Because as the Silver Sisters are here to remind you, there will always be those who snigger, laugh, gossip and are cruel, and sometimes they are just ones who portray themselves as the purest of all. The harmful energies of toxic auras, even psychic attacks of others, may be felt deeply by you at this moment. They may have penetrated your own energy field and become very difficult for you emotionally, leading to deep sadness, ill temper, fearful feelings, and belief in your own unworthiness. As you separate out from your own beliefs, your own issues, give thanks to this insight and cut your cords to others each day. If this card turns up for you in a reading, it is utterly vital for you to learn to discern between what is your stuff and what has nothing to do with you. It is time to approach your energy work in a disciplined way until it becomes second nature. When learning the lesson of this card, it can be a short-term step to feeling victimised, harassed, or picked on. Take all necessary measures within the law and the bounds of what you understand to be right to protect yourself, along with moving through an attack without being touched, because you have strong protection and good psychic health, supported through practice and discipline. You are sensitive, and because of that, you must trust your instinct and your ability to discern what is taking place. Lies and hurtful things are possibly being said. Do not retaliate. Take action on your own self. You will not be hurt when you realise that the weapons of attack have nothing to do with you personally. Even if you are being attacked personally, you are not other people's idea about you. Do not become the lie by responding as if you are. Clear ground, balance, and protect yourself. Very true. Protection. You need to use eye of tiger or tourmaline would be good for that, which I don't have my crystals with me, so I can't show you what they are, but one's black, pure black. You get it from the Rainbow Runner in Hamilton, and the other one is tiger's eye, which is like an orange and yellow stone tiger's eye. It looks like an eye. Looks like a tiger's eye. Interesting. That's not for you. I've already read that many times over. The Unicorn and the Maiden. This works to do with communication and purification and being able to get back on the horse of getting rid of whatever toxic energy or toxic people, in this case, are around you. Do not buy into their toxicity. Do not give them fuel for fire. Only give them what they need to know. Feed them mushrooms, or act like they're a mushroom, and just feed them bullshit. Don't feed them truth, because they won't listen to your truth. They'll try and twist it. And that is number 10. This is to do with the unicorn, or ancient magics rising, and purification of the earth and the etheric realms taking place. The maiden and the unicorn standing together indicate you are receiving communications about clearing your environment, following your life path, and being a peaceful activist for change. The doors between worlds for you are growing wider and wider. More and more is coming through for you. Please know that you have a purpose which is in the moment now to help the environment. You are a peaceful being, sensitive and yet so strong and powerful. Keep some of your work secret. Do not try to attract attention. The new children who are becoming adults now are aided in their life purpose by the unicorn. It is time to protect and help something precious and threatened to survive. Bless your food and water to ingest healing energy. Or back in the old days, in the realms of the knights and the kings, the knight and the king would have to get a unicorn's horn to drink their wine from, because then they knew it wasn't filled with poison. So cook your own food. Do not take away. Then you know what goes into that food and what is in it, what toxins may be present or poison may be present in your food.